Imagine meeting around the water cooler to feel more connected during these current times. The world is in a tailspin right now, and many people are feeling the effects in ways they might not have imagined they would. Fears are running high, stress levels are increasing by the minute, and uncertainty is the word of the day. With the immediate transition to having to socially isolate for the interim time, many are unsure what to think, how to act, and in some cases, how to breathe with ease. The Inspired Choices Network has created an impromptu hour twice per week to help support, reassure, and offer assistance during this difficult time of transition. Please join one of our amazing hosts as they come online to share words of wisdom, encouragement, inspiration, laughter, and much more.
Good morning, everybody. Rhonda Burns here on the Inspired Choices Network with the amazing Amy Wall. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Rhonda. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. So grateful you could join me today. It is a time, is it not?
That's what I hear. Yeah.
And right, your experience may be something completely different. So let me just let folks know what they're listening to. So this is Water Cooler Conversations. This was literally born when COVID-19 kind of flipped the world on its head, and people were kind of looking around like, WTF, where did my life just go? What is happening? And we just decided to put it together as a means of support and energy, contribution, inspiration, motivation, whatever we can be, to just talk about the world today. No particular format other than showing up and speaking to what we are receiving information on or what our experiences have been. So for those of you tuning in and listening with us presently, welcome. So grateful to have you. And for those of you who, are listening in the future, we are so grateful that you're listening. And if we can ever be of any contribution or support to you, please reach out. InspiredChoicesNetwork.com is a great place to find all of the amazing hosts. I am one of them. Amy's one of them. And so, Amy, let's just do this. Because you and I haven't actually talked. I've talked to many of the other hosts, as has Christine, our network owner, and another host with us. How are you? What's going on for you? I would love a little snapshot of what your life is like right now.
Oh, thank you.
You bet.
Well, it's interesting because I live in a very rural area and I work from home. So on the outside, it doesn't look like a lot has changed, though
right.
I'm not seeing personal clients in my skincare business. But I still have lots of work in my virtual world, so I'm staying busy. And, yeah, the big thing that's changed is just really the community at large, I would say, is the biggest thing. And, just dealing with our own local community, and then just the Russian nesting doll of the whole entire world, right? The community, the larger
absolutely.
community, the state, the country, and then the world.
Well,
that's where I'm at.
Beautiful. Thank you. And are you in Mendocino County? Is that correct?
I live in Mendocino, the town of Mendocino, in Mendocino County.
Okay. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful area. So you mentioned community, and that was the word that really struck me. So how is your community changed, come together? Like, what is your community like at this stage of the game?
Well, our community is a community of outliers to begin with. People move up here to get away from the man.
Right.
So we have a lot of people that are not really that good at following orders. So
I love
that's
it.
one thing. So there's been different layers of like our state parks having to finally close, and things like that. But yeah, I think our community is rallying together. We've got a local supervisor that they're good friends with that used to be on the fire department with my husband, and I think he's doing a good job of communicating what's going on. I don't see people, being angry or lashing out. Things seem to be pretty orderly, other than the staying out of the state parks thing.
Yeah.
People still want to go out and be in nature, and I can't blame them. I'm really lucky I live, in a nice big yard and have some land to roam on, because that's the big thing, is staying inside the house.
Yeah. Well, so, this brings up a great point. It's got my hackles up, actually, quite a bit. Nature is probably one of the greatest gifts, and you and I both know this. Like, it's one of the greatest gifts we have. So I recognize that they're trying to keep people from congregating, but state parks have a whole lot of space, and so you want to shut down a very organism that can contribute to people having mental, emotional, physical well-being. Like, I got an issue with that.
No, I totally hear you, and I agree. Fresh air and sunshine is what is on the doctor's orders. Unfortunately, the other dynamic that we have going on in Mendocino is people from the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, coming up here and thinking, oh, there's nobody here now, so we're going to just really enjoy it. So that's people from out of town also trying to come in and go to the park. So I think that was sort of a compounded effect. But other than that, things are quiet. The village of Mendocino, which is always bustling since I was a little girl, it's empty. Nature is totally going off. Like, everything is extra sparkly. Just all of that part is kind of cool.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. The comeback of nature and, the thrival there in that regard is just incredible. I love it. Oh, my gosh. So for those who don't know about you, and I'll share a little bit about me in a minute, but, just give folks a little bit about who you are and what you do, Amy, and then I would love to hear some of your practices or rituals, because I know you have a lot of them, of how you start your day and what you do when things might start to seem a little topsy-turvy or flipped on its head. I would just love to hear some of your go-to support things, if you don't mind sharing.
Sure, Rhonda. Thanks for asking. Well, I am the leader of the conscious beauty movement around the world. I like to think I am reclaiming the word conscious to be meaning more than just healthy ingredients and sustainability, which is really the current definition. And I have a recent radio show called The Secret Language of the Beauty Industry, in which I go into how many words are have narrow definitions or have been adopted by the beauty industry to mean specific things. And consciousness specifically to me means, becoming awake to your own power and to really think of yourself as the missing ingredient in all of your products and practices. So that's what I'm here to do on Earth, is to wake people up. I'm also a product formulator. I create some of the finest concentrated small batch skin nutrition. It's way beyond skincare, topical skin nutrition. And I really have a specialty in helping women feel and look ageless. So that is a little bit about me. And in terms of practices, especially for right now, it's just being able to go inside on a regular basis. You can't really light wash the fear or the stress out of your body right now. The thing that's up for every single person that is dealing with this around the world is scarcity and survival. And that's hardwired into our very cell, at the mitochondrial level, also into our brain. So a lot of times we can just get hijacked by something that we see on Facebook or something that our family member has told us. And we have to have the ability to actually metabolize and witness that those feelings inside of our body. So being able to just take a moment and hopefully go outside, whether that's just in your yard or on the porch, and close your eyes and just go inside and take a moment to witness where the tension and scarcity is being felt in your body. That is my number one practice for right now. I mean, I have lots of beauty rituals that can be discovered at loveamyskin.com or over at my community, timelightcircle.com. But I would say for now, it's just really being able to go inside, get inside your body, witness where you're feeling the tension, and then taking a moment to even just intensify that, magnify it, that allows it to dissipate and to metabolize.
Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for all that. Yeah, I think it's amazing being in the spiritual development and personal development world and having been talking about what was coming. And I know for myself and many that I've connected with, we had no idea the speed at which things would be, the awakening and the wake-up call would begin to the degree it has. And so I know it's caught so many off guard. And I'm loving the leaders, the conscious leaders who are stepping into more than ever, just really showing up for themselves, their communities, for new folks looking for some answers, some solutions, some support. It's just been beautiful. I'll share a little bit about what's going on for me right now. It's interesting. On March the 8th, I decided to liquidate my life and sell my belongings, put a little bit in storage, and kind of be nomadic. And it felt like this burden had been lifted. I'm very much a restless wanderer and have been landlocked for 7 years in this one place. And it's been amazing, but I stayed well past the time of expiration. And so it's funny that I made that decision. And literally, I think it was that very next week, we started seeing the orders for stay at home, and we started seeing school shut down. And I was the most peaceful I have ever been in the wake of everything kind of crumbling down around me. And I'm like, okay, I'm selling my stuff. I'm moving out. I don't know what's next, but I was answering this internal call. And so I have literally last night, I closed the door on having all my items for pickup into a garage. And my body is exhausted. I'm frustrated. And throughout this process, I just kept running these mental mantras. It's like, okay, just get into the garage. Just get it into the garage. Just one more step. Just one more moment. You've got a body. You've got your health. You know, the sun is shut. Like, I would just tell myself just these little bitty things, and I would be giggling. And in the process, this is my favorite part of this entire experience. In the process, I'm selling a lot of products, and I'm doing it through some different venues. And people who have come to pick things up for me, they're showing me where they're functioning from. You have the people that are really, really wary and are wearing, you know, almost like full hazmat suits. And then you have others that literally stand there and have wanted to chat my ear off. I've had people who, like, can we connect on Facebook? It has been the most heartwarming experience for me to connect with so many people in this time and just be this encouragement, be this inspiration, be this fountain of, hey, we're all in this together. And I think that's the sentiment that I love more than anything is there is no one that is not affected by this right now. This truly did level the playing field. And so we really are all in this together. And that has been such a, I don't know, it just makes me feel good knowing that, okay, everybody, we're connecting differently. Yes, we're physically isolating, but we are socially connecting in a very different way. And that is something I've personally been asking for a long, long time. So that's just a little bit of flavor about what's going on in my world.
Amen. That really is the boon.
Yeah.
It is people connecting, and what seemed to be important in the American culture just really isn't important anymore. And, you know, specifically, I wanted to circle back to, you know, the role that I play in the beauty industry, and being somebody who shines the light for others. You know, I want to be a lighthouse shining the way for others, not a lifeboat where, you know, you have to jump in and I'm going to save you with my, you know, with my emergency ways. I see a lot of that right now. You know, jump in my lifeboat. This is what you need to do, right? This is what you need to do right now to get through this. This is what you need to do to make this go away, to get, you know, and it really isn't about that, right? It's about, you know, that the playing field has been leveled and the game is different. there are different rules to this new game, and we're all kind of figuring out those rules together. And I've really taken a role in shifting, and it's so funny because I have been doing, like you said, that you started getting ready to kind of cut the rope on kind of stability early. Well, 2 years ago, I started seeing a change in this beauty industry, and I started curating facial experiences for my clients at home, where I put every single thing in my facial that I did, the professional grade, and I go into what that actually means and doesn't mean, but they're products supposedly that are stronger, and in my case, they actually are. They're very, very high quality. There's not something that you can just buy off the shelf at a Rite Aid. I started curating that with tools and videos and made a whole system for clients to really replicate what I was doing on themselves. And fast forward to today, all around the country, beauty shops in particular are one of the non-essential services, right? So
right.
Every single esthetician is out of a job. And so what's on everybody's lips is, we need to do a facial in a box. So I also find myself in a position that I'm able to share forward a lot of my experience and guide them to becoming really more of their clients' beauty wellness expert and guide rather than just a technician. So it's been really interesting because that just is something I've already been seeing that for a few years. And again, I had no idea it was all going to go down like this so quickly either.
Right. I don't
think it's ever going to go back the same. And I
don't
think it's going to go back
one
the
thing.
Same.
Yeah, I have been the toothpaste is out of the tube. It's no going back. Is what I've been telling people. So it's a new normal. We'll create something new, and I love all the innovation and the progressiveness. So I know we're probably about due for a break. I am.
Let's take
correct me if I'm wrong. So friends, we're going to continue just chatting about what's going on in the world, what's going on for you. So this is Water Cooler Conversations on Inspired Choices Network. And if you are listening right now and you would, today is Wednesday. Oh, April 1st is no fooling. So if you are listening and would like to call in and have a question or have something on your heart or your mind, we would love to take your call. So just come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also join us in the chat room. I know in the U.S. the number is 815-880-8255. I cannot remember the Canadian number right now. Amy, can you read that off the prompt?
I am actually not sitting by the prompter.
Okay. Awesome. Well, then friends, just go to Inspired Choices. Have inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. The number's at the top of the screen. So I am Rhonda Burns here with Amy Wall, Water Cooler Conversations on Inspired Choices Network, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Seekers, dreamers are we, searching all of our lives, knowing more exists beyond this reality. Is now the time to be more of the greatness we truly be. Let go of your mind, let the question set you free. Do you hear the world calling? Global embrace to expansion. What if you are the miracle? You are the magic. What if you being you is the gift this world desires? What if you being you is the change this world requires? A global embrace, global to expansion, reaching through all time and space, undoing every wrongness we've made real. The illusion fades and falls away. Is now the time to be more than we never imagined possible. Let go of your mind. Let the question set you free. Do you hear the world calling? Global embrace to expansion. What if you are the miracle? You are the magic. What if you being you is the gift this world desires? What if you being you is the change this world requires? A global embrace. Global embrace. A global embrace. Global embrace to expansion. Let down your barriers and the thoughts that are the walls that bind you. Follow the lightness. Let the question take you to the space beyond all lack and limitation, all judgment and conclusion, resistance and reaction, the addiction to distraction, into the revelation. Choice is your liberation. As you become the question, you be the invitation. Do you hear the world calling? Calling, calling. Global embrace to expansion. What if you are the miracle? You are the magic. You are the magic. What if you being you is the gift this world desires? Is the gift this world desires? What if you being you is the change this world requires? A global embrace. Global embrace. A global embrace. Global embrace to expansion. What if you being you?
You were listening to Water Cooler Conversations on the Inspired Choices Network. Feel free to join us in the chat room by going to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com and clicking on the chat room link. You can also call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, in Canada 613-800-8736, and you can Skype us from anywhere in the world. Just come on over to Inspired Choices Network. And now let's resume our Water Cooler Conversations.
And we're back. Amy, you there?
Yes, I am. Hey, welcome back,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thanks. Yeah, I had to make sure I was unmuted. So just for folks to know, in my superhuman ability, I am driving while having this conversation, attempting to get timing right. So how does it get any better? Oh my goodness. So friends,
well, I love the
Go ahead.
song on the
Have you heard that
commercial.
before? Do you know who that is?
No, but Global. No, who is that? I loved it.
That is Keisha Clark, our very own Keisha Clark. Yeah, so I was going to tell folks about that. So Keisha Clark wrote and produced that with Jay Atkins several years ago. Talk about being ahead of your time. And it's called Global Embrace. And when Christine we decided to put this water cooler conversation together, that song spoke to her and said, all right, we want to be used. So talk about now being the time. So Keisha very gracefully allowed us to play it. And for anybody who's interested, you can buy that. It's on SoundCloud. It is on, I cannot think of the other one. But anyway, you can find it in the show notes. And again, it's incredible. It has frequency and vibration and energy contribution that if you just put it on and play it over and over, whether you can hear it or not, it contributes so much to the body and the soul. So, yeah, Keisha's amazing.
It was really contributing to me just as soon as it started playing, because my music on my show is pretty like upbeat. Sometimes I'm kind of getting into the zone, and then it kind of surprises me because it goes, starts
right.
It has so upbeat. But that was just immediately like, oh, and then I really tuned into the words, and it's very special.
It is. I have chills. Yeah, I like you that you said it's very special. I just got chills when you said that. It is. And so, friends, here at Inspired Choice Network, we are all about, like Amy said, it's not about being a lifeboat. It's about being a lighthouse. I love that. That's one of the terms that I use in my own work. But we're here to support with tools, with techniques, with wisdom, with ideas, and songs like that. So anything, this is what I would say to folks, anything that you can find and utilize right now to support your mental and energetic, emotional and spiritual and physical, everything that you can do to support yourself to feel your best. And again, it's not about whitewashing. It's not about not dealing with what wants to be known, but to support ourselves during this transitional time. And so for me, music is one of the greatest things. In fact, as I was driving to race to get my coffee before we got on the air today, I was jamming out about, I don't know how many decibels. I was pounding the driving wheel and the steering wheel and stomping my feet and having a good time. So music is one of the things that I go to.
I agree. After I take the time to actually see what's going on with myself, because I just like to start there, I have curated a Spotify playlist that anybody is welcome to email me, and I'll share that with you, or I have it over at the Time Light Circle community. But it's all big dancing music, and I really highly recommend getting on your earphones and just stomp it out, because again, you're moving the energy and helping metabolize some of the feelings that are going on through your body. Because your listeners might not know, but every time we go into a fear pattern or uncertainty or any sort of emotional pattern, that's actually expressed as a chemical in our body. So we do have to assist the body in moving that energy out, and dancing and music. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As a young child, I was in dance for many, many years, and I was always the tallest and the most, broad shoulders, and a sturdy girl is what I would call myself. And I used to just be so boisterous on stage, gregarious, and just love to dance. And then as I got older, like many adults, chose to diminish that movement and chose to diminish, for fear of looking silly or for fear of fill in the blank, right? And so I love that now more than ever. It seems to be my go-to. Now more than ever, we have permission, like we said, all of the old rules out the window, all of the old systems and programs out the window. So I'm being called to just speak right now to the women, to the moms, to the women who have not allowed themselves to tap or to jazz hands or to ecstatic dance or to stomp and do the more visceral movement. Like, you have permission, and I'm actually imploring you, the bodies are imploring you to move it out. So find a space where you can turn up your music or put in your earbuds and move in whatever way feels good. Take your mind out of it, let your body lead. And I'm telling you, the freedom that we have when we let our bodies lead and move that energy is beyond words. And I am, like many in our community, I am an empathic body. My body gets lots of information and feels for other bodies. And so when I get messages about the pain that the bodies are in, I feel it. And so I do my work with it, but I am to speak that these are some of the things we need to be doing, that we could be doing more of. And it will lead the way for greater possibilities going into the future. So that just wanted to be spoken. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you said it all. We try to get out of our head and get into the body, because the other thing is that is up for me and for, I'm sure, lots of people, is that we're not, humans are the only animals that we know of that do the nexting, right? What's next? It's like that. It's
right.
a function of judgment. Like, what do we have to do next? And right now we don't know what is next. So it is truly about now. And so I think that's the other interesting thing. And then the additional thing that's coming up for me and other people, I think, especially in business, is just around restructuring, like, value. What are we doing in the world? What are we bringing forth? And if there was ever a better time to really tune into what your purpose and what your divine mission is, I can't think of a better time. So I'm sure there's lots of shows on the Inspired Choices Network. What are some of your go-to resources around tuning into your purpose? Is that something that you work with clients on?
I do. I'm a little bit, well, we're all a lot unique. What I really am about is I tend to be able to stand in the fire with people. I don't even know what you call that, but people call me when nothing else works or feels good. And there's something about just time that they spend with me. I transmute that energetically, and then we provide a place forward for them. But some of my resources that I go to, that I would recommend, anything in the Hay House field, hayhouse.com has a ton of teachers and mentors and guides and leaders. Some of my spiritual folks, Dr. Michael Beckwith, I follow. If anybody is looking for any type of spiritual community, they're live streaming their stuff every Sunday, I know. So, sorry, I'm distracted because there was a little pile up as I was passing. Like, oh my gosh. One thing I'm really grateful for right now is traffic is like pretty null and void. It's great. I digress. But yeah, so I would suggest, and I think we'll probably need to take another break here in just a moment, but I want to address, for folks who may not recognize the time in our history, what's transpiring right now, what type of age we're moving from and to, where intuition, like you spoke to, the now, that is what we are being called to really practice and hone and master. And so I can talk about that after the break, about kind of a little lesson. But one of the resources, one of the resources that I recommend, and I don't know if you play with it at all, but that's been very helpful for me in the last, I've studied many things, like a lot of us, but human design has shown me how to live more appropriate for me, Rhonda, as my body and as my being. And it has afforded me and allowed me to let go of and shed all of the other stuff that I was doing or playing with that didn't actually serve me. It really helped me become laser focused, which then afforded me the ability to manage my energy more appropriately. And it has been a lifesaver. Do you play with human design at all?
Oh, yeah. I'm a generator, baby.
Oh, I'm a manifesting generator. No surprise. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, let's talk about it when we come back
Awesome.
from break. I love human
Cool.
design.
Perfect. All right. Well, friends, we're just having a conversation around the water cooler or the coffee table here. This is myself, Rhonda Burns, and Amy Wall on the Inspired Choices Network, and we're grateful that you're listening, whether you're here with us now, live on April 1st, or in the future. We're going to take a quick break, so stay tuned.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
You are listening to Water Cooler Conversations on the Inspired Choices Network. Feel free to join us in the chat room by going to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com and clicking on the chat room link. You can also call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, in Canada 613-800-8736, and you can Skype us from anywhere in the world. Just come on over to Inspired Choices Network. And now let's resume our water cooler conversations.
We are here again. Amy, you with me?
I sure am.
Awesome. Thanks for being here with me today. Oh, my gosh. I tell you, I'm having fun. I'm doing it. Talk about no rules.
That's my favorite part.
I know. It's so fun. So that actually was the question I was going to ask you. What is your favorite part about what's going on in the world right now? If you had one.
My favorite part, my number one favorite part is Mother Nature is putting us in a timeout. And Mother Nature always has the last word. And I just love to get that reminder over and over and over, whether it is an earthquake or a flood or, whatever is happening. Ultimately, I can put my little human desires and fears away in favor of what Mother Nature is doing. And I also just really like to be able to truly practice what I've always known to be true, and that everything is happening for me and not to me. And then I can just pretty much be a little lamb in the universal pasture, just kind of going from moment to moment and not really worrying too much about what's going to happen. I have a specific type of childhood that was always full of lots of environmental drama, and my parents were kind of quasi-activists, and I knew about the Iran-Contra, Sandinista situation when I was 10 years old. I was always going to documentaries about nuclear war. So having an environmental meltdown has sort of been up for me my whole entire life. So now that something really, big and serious has gone across the world, I find myself to be very, very calm and sort of like, I was made for these times. That's just what the thing. So that's my favorite part, is that, I'm just letting go and letting Mother Nature do her thing.
Letting go and letting Mother Nature do her thing. I love that. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. My favorite part of right now is the universe. Is knowing that the universe does have my back and is supporting me, but my role is to be still and listen. Or for those of you who know the biblical, be still and know that I'm God. So just the stillness and receiving the prompts for, what, if there's something I need to take care of or an action. And yes, nature is definitely my go-to, but for me, my favorite thing is my connection with my universal support is greater than ever. And in the midst of all the chaos, in the midst of all the mayhem, I feel so supported and so loved and so nurtured, which is, I know many people are not able to say that right now. And I would love to support and help them be able to get to that position, because it is a game changer. It truly is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I think I was going to talk a little bit, just give a brief from a chronological and spiritual perspective about what's gone on in terms of the timeline for humanity before the break. So basically, for friends, if you weren't aware, we have been in a linear, logical, Newtonian physics reality for, 400 plus years. And we are now in the quantum shift. We are moving into the quantum era. And with that means we are leaving more of our mental and linear and caveman type behaviors and ways, as we are moving into intuitive ways, which is we go within to know our own bodies and our own souls, and we take our marching orders, if you will. I like to use that term. It's not really marching orders. We take our prompts, we take our impulses from our own guidance. And as we individualize and individuate, we know what's right for us, we know the right timing for us, all those things. Then when we come into community, we are better poised to serve and to contribute and to love one another, because we know who we are. We are doing more of our right work. We're doing it. And speaking, you brought up value earlier, which is fantastic, right? The way we value goods and services is changing. It has to now. And so it will be a very different conversation where people come together to exchange things. Here's a great example. In the selling of my things, I would set a very fair price. People showed up, they paid it, and then there were times I felt led to give extra or, offer something additional. And here's my favorite story. Just yesterday, I had a sofa, beautiful leather sofa for sale, and it was listed for a certain price. And a gentleman reached out to me and basically said, we gave our couch to somebody a couple weeks ago, when all this started. And lo and behold, he and his girlfriend are now in services where she's a lawyer and he's in a field. They cannot physically work right now. So they're furloughed, which means they don't actually have funds coming in. And he reached out and says, we're basically sitting on the floor. We know your sofa is worth every bit of X amount of dollars. All I have in my pocket right now is this amount. Would you be willing to consider it? And if not, I understand. And everything in my body said, yes, he's the one to have this. So I basically gave it to him for half price. He showed up. The exchange and the communion with one another, because I have no qualms about money. My needs are taken care of. When I answer the call, when I say yes at the right time, when I say yes to the right people, my needs are always met. And so this gentleman and I had this amazing communion. He and his girlfriend are taken care of. He's going to pay it forward. I'm going to continue to pay it forward. That's the new era. That is what I'm on board with, and that's what I'm really excited to see starting to happen. And it's going to take some time for a lot of people as we shift, but that's really the new economy, right? What have you got? I've got this. Hey, how does this sound? How does this feel? Yep, let's do it. Boom, we're done. And no questions about what our value is anymore. Hopefully that made a little sense.
Absolutely. No, it did. And I think that, it's value on both sides. Is what do we value and how and what is our value? And so it's both sides of that equation. And really what is being deemed non-essential is really shifting. And every single person is going to have to experience that and define it for themselves. But I am so excited for that part, and I have worked so long just sharing information forward and talking, about how, you are the missing ingredient in all of your skincare products without leading with the product first. I've always led with the value first. And so that I find myself completely not worried because I know the value that I bring. And, I've been working on that my whole entire life. So for others that haven't yet and are still scared, then, I have a lot of compassion, but it's just an amazing opportunity. And the other thing that I wanted to kind of highlight is that, now more than ever, you can see that it is truly our point of view that is holding something in place, right? It's just a matter of perspective. Right. It's like we're either locked at home and we can't go outside, or we are safe at home. We're either totally supported or we're totally not supported. Exactly. Duality is really, really up for a lot of people in the paradox, and I just love holding both sides of it. Just polarity. Yes, please.
It is
Get
so
that
true.
And going.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm part of, some communities online, and I'm seeing so I love that. Yeah, I'm safe at home. Like, there are a lot of people who don't even have homes right now. There are people, so there is so much, and it's always been, but more than ever, it's basically had all of that rise to the surface, and we can no longer avoid. We can no longer deny, and we can no longer distract ourselves from what needs to be addressed individually, personally. I know for me, I think if I said it 10 times yesterday, I said it 100. I will never need this much stuff again as I'm liquidating and storing and purging. I will never need the amount of stuff that I have that was non-essential. It's ridiculous. I just was dumbfounded, and I'm pretty much a minimalist compared to many people I know, but I was astounded at the amount of goods that I had in my townhome. And I was like, it's not that I was appalled, but I was really surprised. And I'm grateful that it can go to other people that can utilize it or do whatever they want with it. But it's like, I really am excited about more of the letting go and just being free to fly where I'm called to go to serve and contribute. Very different place. So
wonderful. And we have a question from the chat room.
Oh.
We have Karen, who has joined us in the chat room, and she has a question for you, and she says that she thinks many people are feeling the universe more than ever as well. So she's with us on that. But what would you suggest so people can become aware of this being supportive versus going into anxiety with the shift that they are unfamiliar with? Because, some people are just, it's like they don't know how to shift into that support. What could you offer there?
Well, it's a great question, and I'm happy to, if you want to field it, I'm happy to share. What I would say initially, right, meditation is a great place to start, or prayer. Meditation for me is a go-to. The coming into stillness and starting to be able to hear or feel or sense your own inner guidance is critical. And we talked earlier about human design. That's another piece, that when you know your human design and you know how you are meant to respond, where that comes from, it's another fantastic tool for helping to make decisions, because that's part of that universal factor. Those would be the two quickies that I would say. How about you? What would you say to that great question?
Let's see. Become aware of this being supportive. I think this kind of goes down to just sort of moment by moment being able to take the time, quote unquote, right? What do we have a lot of right now? Time. So being able to establish a practice of going within. And what you said about meditation and prayer, I really liked. And then I would also add in maybe some tools from Access Consciousness, because I really love the concept of a question as like a prayer. I think about like wondering it with love, like, what else is possible that I've never considered? And let's see, what are my other favorite questions? What would it take for this to turn out better than we ever imagined possible? Things like that. Just kind of just opening up a space of possibility, and then just how does it get any better than this? And if you are going to go, it's hard to go from a 0 to 100, right? It's hard to go from complete anxiety to feeling completely supported by the universe. But really identifying what it is that you feel connected to, and identifying that. Is Is it God? Is it the universe? Is it nature? I am a Mother Nature person. So when I go outside and I see, my lilac bush blooming for the first time ever, and I've had it for 5 years, I know that things are emerging right on time and not in my timing, in nature's timing. So that's something that I would encourage, is just to find, what is your touchstone? Is it music? Yeah. Is it nature? Is it a child? Is it a FaceTime with a loved one? Is it reading a book and savoring it sentence by sentence? Is it digging into a musical instrument that you forgot you knew how to play? Just anything like that can kind of ground and center.
Perfect. And I want to add one more, because I know we're getting close to the end of the hour. One of the things I want to add is, friends, your emotions are running their course. Let them. This is not the time to stop the tears. If the tears need to come out, let them. Whatever you're feeling, here's what one of the things I share with folks that are new to some of the work that I do is speak to it. So if you're stressed in the moment, it's okay to say, okay, I am stressed AF right now. Like, I am really effing scared. Whatever, fill in the blank. I feel this way. Like, speak to it. Talk to it like it's an individual standing there with you. Get it out of your body. Speak it. And then when you can take a breath and you've gotten all of it, it's kind of like, vomiting out. Then take a breath, take a beat. Okay. Now I'm ready to receive what the universe has for me. And then you feel an impulse to maybe, go grab a drink of water or whatever, right? But get it out of your body first. Acknowledge what is there, and then be open to receive. Because that's the thing. Universal support is about receiving the data and the information from the right source for us. And that's what's key.
Right, yeah. Right. Yeah. And, in this time of perceived resource shortage, what would it take for us all to be able to resource ourselves by plugging into, the energy that's available to us at all times? And I guess we could go down the rabbit hole on human design and all the different types. I happen to be the type that is, just generating a lot of energy at all times. So I have that as a default. But the other thing I wanted to offer to Karen, she's still on the line, is taking some time to do a deepest fear inventory is sometimes helpful too. Write down all of the what could happen. What are all the worst case scenarios that you really feel that could happen? Write those out, and then. And sometimes that's helpful, not if you're in a very hijacked emotional state, but just kind of like just to kind of look at it on paper, and sometimes just see, oh, okay, well, nope, I actually am going to be supported in all those scenarios. And then this would happen, and then this would happen. And I do that from time to time, just to kind of, if I'm really feeling upset, because sometimes it's helpful just to kind of go down, because we don't even really know when we're hijacked what we're really afraid of.
Correct. Perfect. That's a great resource. I would, yeah. And Amy, how can people get in touch with you again if they want to get in touch with you for any reason? The best way?
Well, I'm available by email, amy@loveamyskin.com. I'm Love Amy Skin on most social media, but my best place to hang out with me is in my new Conscious Beauty community, which is over at timelightcircle.com. We have a mighty network, and that's where I'm sharing all my best energy and resources. But any place will do.
Brilliant. Yeah, friends. And her products are your packaging is beautiful. Your products are amazing. The energy, the vibration of them is beautiful. Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful. And you can find me at Rhonda, RHONDA-Burns, BURNS.com, Rhonda-Burns.com. Friends, thanks for tuning in. Amy's got her show on Mondays at what time, Amy?
I'm Monday at noon Pacific.
Awesome. And I'm Wednesdays at 1 Eastern, friends. Rendezvous with Rhonda. Thanks for being here at Water Cooler Conversations. We'll be back again on Monday with 2 more amazing hosts. And
thank you for joining us around the water cooler today for our conversation here on the Inspired Choices Network. Connection and support for the reality of today and the gift of tomorrow. Be sure to join one of our other guest hosts on Mondays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific time here at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. As always, we look forward to sharing more wisdom, encouragement, inspiration, laughter, assistance,